Infernal greetings, infernal blessings to all. Merry Christmas. Merry Winter Solstice. Merry Christmas. To all who feel they need to hear that. The liquid gold. What is the liquid gold? AKA the sacred white cream. The liquid gold, some call it ormus, some call it manna, some would call it colostrum, is very important and potent that you and I must all know how to use. The liquid gold is usually received by the magical wand or the magical cave. And it is in these two locations where you will receive the liquid gold. The liquid gold is found within man. Usually, it is harnessed and grown or nourished within the lower regions of a man and the lower regions of a female. What the man does with his liquid gold is that when he becomes aroused, the liquid gold then begins to ascend. It ascends from the region of the Tubal Cain and climbs Jacob's ladder till it reaches the crown. This crown is essential to charge up the liquid gold to greater heights. Now, for thousands and thousands of years, the science was kept secret on the liquid gold. This liquid gold is necessary for your evolution. So when this liquid gold gets aroused, it gets stimulated by electrical energy from this arousal. It, as I said, takes the journey upward through Jacob's ladder, 33 vertebrae, traveling up the spine. Therefore, it gets charged up by each chakra and by these energies, etheric and electrical energies. Each chakra charges up the liquid gold. So it reaches the back of the head, the medulla oblongata area. When it reaches the medulla oblongata area, there it sits. It sits and awaits further ascension. This waiting period is symbolic of death. It is symbolic of you tasting death. It is symbolic of you being buried to only be resurrected. As it sits there in this state of death, it is like in a neutral state. Further stimulation and arousal causes it to awaken again after laying dormant and taking its last journey in the region of the pineal and pituitary gland. That liquid gold with the vibration of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland creates a vortex of energy to open up from the top of the crown. This vortex of energy then sucks in the astro-etheric body along with the neutrino energies, which are found in subatomic particles throughout different dimensions, different planes of existence, and all throughout the multiverses. As that crown stays open and all this energy is coming in, the liquid gold is then intensified and made more potent. But now that it's been intensified and made more potent, the liquid gold now has to take a journey of descension to descend back down and travel back down to the nether regions. For it is in darkness that the liquid gold has its most potency to be sent outward. As it sits in the region of the Tubal Cain or the cave, it now has received its maximum energy from the crown. It now lays in darkness, sucking up all black matter, all black or dark energy. And it takes another step of evolution to then be released outwardly. Now, what happens next is of the utmost importance for us, Black adepts, practitioners on the left-hand path. The release of this liquid gold should not go to waste. You should be able to taste the liquid gold on the tip of your tongue, first and foremost. When you taste the liquid gold at the tip of your tongue, the taste buds are very sensitive and heightened in this region on the tip of your tongue. Right here, as it tastes that, and it awakens it, meaning it awakens these psychic senses. It causes a ripple effect of energy to come through your body, awakening every part of your body, and you will feel a energy surge up your back to the back of your medulla oblongata, and it sits there and it just builds up more energy. Then it sends energy all throughout your crown. At that moment, your crown opens up and you feel yourself astral project. It may be brief or it may be for a long length of time. Depends on the interaction, the arousal, and the heightened awareness. Now, the tasting is one aspect. Once you taste it on the tip of your tongue, there's going to be a further craving. And that is when a total altered state of consciousness takes place, a trance, so to speak. See, the ancients knew this. This is why there was priesthoods that were dedicated to the preservation of this liquid gold. There was the demonic feminine priesthood, and there was the demonic masculine priesthood. The demonic masculine priesthood of Set, Satuh, knew how to cultivate this energy, knew how to use it for empowerment, knew how to use it for transformation. And the demonic feminine aspect of Sekhmet, Het, Heru, aka Hathor, Aset, would learn how to cultivate this energy within their bodies. Learn how to harness that energy within their body, so as it traveled down to the cave of Lilith, the cave of Naama, the cave of Sekhmet, Kali, Heteru, Oshun, Oya, etc. You get the point. The individual, the partner, was awaiting the release of that liquid gold into their mouth, so that they knew that they would then be able to also experience an altered state of consciousness, a trance-like state. In this trance-like state, you would receive abundant amount of astral energy, but also gnosis, spiritual gnosis on a whole other level. How does this relate to those on the left-hand path? Specifically, I will relate it to two traditions that are utilized within the Temple of the Black Serpent: vampire magic and necromancy. In vampire magic, we devour life force energy, the chi, the prana, the sechem, the ka, whatever you want to call it. Whatever makes you feel superior, dominant, or great at the end of the day, use that word. This life force energy is very powerful and a great sustenance for vampires. As we devour that energy, it increases our etheric energy. It increases our life force. Therefore, having an abnormal amount of power, spiritual energy, and gnosis coming through us. But there is another aspect of vampirism that many will not share. And there is only a couple who breach it. It's primal vampirism. I made a video about this recently. Some caught on to it, some didn't. Some people don't understand vampirism. They think it's just Hollywood and vampires run around in fangs. You're mistaken. There's more to it than that. Vampirism is probably, in my opinion, the most powerful form of magic on the left-hand path. However, let's continue. As a vampire, there is an aspect of primal vampirism where we devour the liquid gold, because we know within that liquid gold there is a purified and enhanced form of life energy within that liquid gold. And we are able to then fill our cup and receive even further gnosis than just regular feeding. In the Temple of the Black Serpent, in this new year, 2023, we will be going further into the purpose and power of the liquid gold and ritual work with the liquid gold, and how to cultivate your own liquid gold and how to become a magnet to attract all that which you want in your life through this liquid gold being charged up. As a vampire, that that liquid gold, when it is tasted with our vampiric senses, allows us to connect to the vampires of old. Some would call them the undead gods, who were once flesh and blood beings like myself and yourself, to then have a meeting face to face with these undead gods, these vampiric gods, who are humans, just like me and you. They were not deities. They were not archetypes. They were humans like myself and yourself. And we meet them in this dimension. And they give us further gnosis on how to utilize that liquid gold. Because the first thing they're going to be like, you figured it out. They will tell you, you figured it out. You figured out the secret of vampire magic that many have forsaken or forgot because it's so caught up on the external appearance of being a vampire that the internal work has become lessened or less important to many of these vampires nowadays. But in the Temple of the Black Serpent, particularly the Order of the Black Serpent clan of vampirism, we deal with the esoteric, astrosexual aspect of everything. Therefore, we awaken further aspects of ourselves as a vampire. You will learn how to, one, magnetize yourself to draw in that life force energy that someone may be carrying and not even aware of it, because some people are not aware of their potent liquid gold that they carry. So you'll magnetize yourself in a way that I will not reveal in a video, but you'll magnetize yourself to draw that in every facet of your life. For two, you'll also cultivate your own life force to greater heights, experiencing altered realities that you never thought possible. For three, you will awaken the primal aspect of a vampire, that primal part of yourself that many still want to destroy, eliminate, or try to put it under chains. Your purpose for traveling this path is to unchain yourself, to break the chains that bind you. So why would you want to chain yourself again? Why? Because you're afraid of your primal aspect? You're afraid of your primal beast-like nature? Of course you're afraid, because you've never learned to sit with it, talk to it, understand it, embrace it, and use it. So of course you're afraid of that. So what do people do? They'll do shadow work. Like, trust me, I love shadow work. But this crap that people are doing out here, you guys are so damn fluffy. You trying to mix light and dark. That only is going to backfire. Why? Because you never travel the dark far enough or deep enough to even use it in your work. You can't just skim the surface and think, well, I did some dark work, so now I can merge the two. You're a fluffy ass person. Stay fluffy. Stop coming over here, because this side will devour you. Why it's devouring you now is because you open the door to it and then you try to turn your back to it by staying fluffy and thinking you can mix the two. You can't. Once you've opened that gateway to the darkness, that darkness will devour you if you're not ready to empower yourself through it. Stop tiptoeing. Come to your senses and realize you open the gateway. There's no going back. It's another story. Weakness. The weakness as a vampire You will encounter such trials and tribulations through your work, and the liquid gold will enforce your willpower, enforce your strength to overcome your weaknesses. This is why vampirism is of the utmost importance. It is also a method to destroy not only the weakest parts of yourself or to transmute those weaker parts of yourself, but to destroy the external enemies that do exist. And let's make no mistake about it. We all have physical human beings who are our enemies, and we've never even spoke to them, not have even come in contact with them physically, and they hate on us. They would try to destroy us at the drop of a dime. That primal aspect of a vampire, when it's awakened, keeps you as the ultimate predator, always in charge, on guard, and ready to destroy. We have to realize the importance of vampirism. But let me digress there for a moment and share with you, because I said there was two important ways or magical traditions that use the liquid gold. Vampirism is one. Necromancy is two. Some of y'all are just too fluffy for necromancy. I mean, I know that. I get that. It's okay. At least you're being honest. You're too fluffy for necromancy. The thing is, with necromancy, that also has been twisted up into some fluffy ancestral worship, some fluffy, I love the spirits type of work. Spirits are not your friends. There are some who are, and there are some who can't stand human beings who will destroy you and devour you at the drop of a dime. That's the part that people are afraid of when it comes to necromancy. There's intranquil spirits here. And voodoo, they understand that. Intranquil spirits are nothing to trifle with. So you have to be very powerful if you're going to utilize an intranquil spirit for some work. You have to be very powerful and have a lot of command over yourself and the spirit. But the command begins with self, because the command of mastering your weaknesses is important when you're doing necromancy, because spirits prey on your weakness and use it to haunt you, to scare you, to try to destroy you and weaken you to every part of you has been derailed, demolished, and you're just a prey for the taking. But in necromancy, we understand that the spirits have a craving. They have a craving for taste on this side of the veil. Certain things they still want to experience and taste on this side of the veil. This is why spirits love rum. Some of them, a lot of them, used to drink on this side of the veil in the physical world. Rum is like an elixir. It is more than a drink. It is like an elixir. It has ethyl alcohol in it. Ethyl is connected to ether. Ether, the etheric plane, is the plane that spirits use to come here into the physical. Rum is one of their favorites. Bourbon, whiskey, so on and so forth. But rum has a certain potency to it that is not matched by other alcohol, other drinks. But there's another liquid that spirits crave. They crave the liquid gold of human beings. It is food for the gods. You ever heard that old saying, food for the gods? It is food for the gods. This food is what draws a spirit to you. It's what will allow the spirit to try to deceive you, manipulate you, or trick you if they could, if you don't know how to work with them. If you learn what you're doing and you know what you're doing, then you will learn that you are the master over that spirit, and you could utilize your liquid gold to control them, to command them, and to be the powerful necromancer you are intended to be. So, what should you do? What should you do? What should you do? You should learn to, one, the importance of liquid gold. Two, how to cultivate your liquid gold. Three, how to use your liquid gold in magic. In this case, necromancy. That is a craving spirits have, and it is a way to access a spirit, to call a spirit to you, and to then be able to command that spirit to do work for you. As a vampire, many vampires have access to the undead. We are connected to the undead. Therefore, many vampires, necromancy is something that comes natural to us, and is something that many vampires practice. This is why a lot of vampires have a legion of spirits or demons that we command, that we work with, and we can unleash it at any point in time. However, to be a necromancer takes effort, takes consistency and dedication. It is not an easy task to command spirits. Sure, some of y'all hear spirits naturally. Good. What are you doing about it? How are you using it? What ways are you using it? Do you understand what you're doing? Therefore, necromancy is essential. That liquid gold is utilized to the utmost. Now, there's two aspects you have to understand. There's working with blood as a necromancer, there's working with the liquid gold. Unfortunately, people think that the only way to work with spirits is through blood. Sorry. The most potent form of way to work with spirits is your liquid gold. And liquid gold is more potent than blood, because blood is found in the liquid gold, but it is also many subtle properties and etheric energies, astral energies, so on and so forth, that are found within the liquid gold that are not completely found within blood. Therefore, the liquid gold is food for the gods, food for the spirits. How you use it is what is important. Are you ready to enter the cave of Lilith, the cave of Naama, the cave of Sekhmet, the cave of Heteru, the cave of Aset, the cave of Oshun, the cave of Oya, so on and so forth? If you are, would you be ready to taste the liquid gold? And two, how would you differentiate between powerful liquid gold and just regular mundane liquid gold? Would you be able to decipher the difference, or would you be so caught up in your passions that you would lose sight that there is a purpose for that liquid gold being tasted, being swallowed, being taken within you, to be assimilated within you? The journey is only beginning. So in 2023, I will teach a sacred loop class that I would love all people to get involved in. The sacred loop class is going to go into the liquid gold, how to cultivate the liquid gold, nourish the liquid gold, and how to use the liquid gold in magic. The sacred loop class is also going to speak about the power of the goddess, the feminine, the demonic feminine energy. It's going to speak about that aspect, but in particular, since many of my members are melanated, we are going to deal with the melanated aspect of the liquid gold and how it differs from regular liquid gold. Your melanin plays an important part in the potency of your liquid gold. And we're going to learn melanin magic that is not taught by a lot of these conscious coons and clowns. They think there are, but no, they're not. And how that liquid gold, through the melanin, is charged up even more. We're going to speak about the demonic feminine goddess, the Black Queen, the melanated queen, to be exact. We're going to speak about the power and purpose of why you have been blessed with the body you have, with the curves you have. All of it plays a part in magic. All of it plays a part in your power and how you manifest the reality you are seeking. Unfortunately, we have been dumbed down to the powers of the Black Queen. So it now becomes just an object of desire to many men who don't understand the science of the liquid gold, don't understand the science of melanin, don't understand the science of the connection between melanated individuals. And so therefore, the Black Queen has just become a regular woman to them and an object of lustful desires because they don't know how to use their lust in beneficial, empowering ways. It just becomes total chaotic lust that has no direction or purpose for it. We're going to understand why you have melanin. 2, how that melanin is charged up. 3, why you have the curves of your body, the fullness of your lips, the almond-shaped eyes, the thighs, the legs, and the buttocks. Why all that has been blessed and given to you, and why the world now wants to emulate your body. They will go to Brazil, America, to the dark hidden places to get surgery to replicate your body. And unfortunately, some of our sisters are hurting themselves by trying to get a BBL and doing these BBL and surgical implants and things of that nature to have a booty that many of our women were naturally blessed with, whether it's small and round or big and round is irrelevant. You all were given a gift. And unfortunately, through improper diet, through lack of exercise, so on and so forth, some of our women have lost that, which was naturally in them, causing the DNA to malfunction, not giving you the parts that you were most blessed with. That doesn't mean you still have, that doesn't mean you've lost your power as a goddess. You just have to learn to work with what you have and accentuate what you have for your power. So we're going to go into that aspect. We're going to go into the aspect of the demonic masculine and what is the power and the purpose behind our magical wand and how we misuse it and abuse it. And therefore, the magical wand is losing its power. That's one class we're going into. The sacred loop. I may do a class on comparative religious studies. I will get further feedback from you all. Hit me up on Instagram, Temple Black Serpent, or email me and tell me if you'd be interested in comparative religious studies, because we need to break the religious program within our minds, especially if you're coming into the left-hand path. Too many religious aspects or too many religious philosophies or ideologies have crossed over into the left-hand path, poisoning the left-hand path, the path of separation. the path of breaking free from the old paradigms and in mind control and in society's programs, so on and so forth. Too much of that's crossed over now. Now, left-hand path, a lot of these magical traditions have become nothing more than religious traditions again. We're supposed to be breaking free, and y'all making it more religious. That's another story. Comparative religious studies. The vampire class, please, my people. I'm thinking, y'all give me feedback who are in the vampire magic class, not the Order of the Black Serpent, just those in the vampire magic class. If you think I should just merge it with the Order of the Black Serpent, transfer all the data from the vampire magic class, and you still continue at the level you're at, you're just at the Order of the Black Serpent. And therefore you progress at your own rate within the Order of the Black Serpent, but you get more information and privy to more information of what eventually is in store for you and your initiation, so on and so forth. That's one thing that I'm really seriously considering, but give me feedback if you're in the vampire magic class. People, the vampire magic class is there for you. Melanated people especially, you need to understand your birthright. Vampire magic is a part of your birthright, and I don't care what any European vampire tells me. It is not, the origin did not begin in Europe, and I will debate any European vampire on that. You can go into North Africa and Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and find vampire traditions and folklore that predates any in Europe. You will find vampire folklore, myths, teachings in West Africa that predate any European vampirism. Now, I do not care if you're black, white, purple, orange, red, green, alien, whatever. That's irrelevant. But I am going to make a point that I do not bow to anyone because you think you have some superior form of vampirism when I have studied the occult for over 30 years, in-depth studies, particularly in the regions of my origin, my ancestral origin, from Africa to the indigenous people here in America, and the Aztecs had a very serious vampiric aspect in mythology and teachings. The Mayans and a lot of the indigenous people here that predates any in Europe. So, yes, we're all vampires, but do not force the one-sided version of vampirism upon us when it's clear as day that it existed long before there was even a Europe. I'm just making that point. Just making that point and letting it be known that we need to embrace all aspects of vampirism, because far too often in the vampire community, it is too one-sided, and we therefore neglect the melanated vampires that have existed since eternity. So we won't do that in the Order of the Black Serpent. We embrace all aspects of vampirism, but we take it back to the origins in Africa, in the Middle East, in the indigenous America. Because I love all my vampires, regardless of race, creed, color, nationality, so on and so forth. But I do not play the game of trying to force a one-sided version of it, as if we had no stakes in it and we're just Johnny-come-latelys. Not happening. So vampirism, that class, 2023, y'all did you're about to do your New Year's resolution, so to speak. You should have been doing that already since the summer of 2022. You should have been gearing towards the new year. But if you're one of those who feels you need a New Year's resolution, so be it. Get in the class. Necromancy. People, a lot of y'all want to work with spirits, think you want to work with spirits, you hear spirits, but you do nothing about it. Time to learn how to work with spirits. get in the Necromancy class. Period. Tunnels of Set class. It's a beautiful class. I mean, the class is lovely. Hard hitting. Demetrius got some rituals to punch you in the face. I'll be coordinating with Demetrius to do some more rituals for each tunnel, but also I'm gonna throw some stuff in there as well. All right. Demetrius is gonna keep hitting you hard, and I'm gonna add to that hard hitting tunnels of set work. The Deific Mass class, beautiful class that allows you to work with one deity for a longer length of time. You would think more people would gravitate to that, since sometimes we rush through things. People are people. But anyways, remember this: the liquid gold. The liquid gold. Understand it, cultivate it, nourish it, empower yourself through it, and use it magically. All right? From the greetings to those that just came in later in the video, and internal blessings and infernal blessings to all those. You have a wonderful Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry solstices. Bye-bye.